Hello, fellow Tennos. This video is a little tutorial about Volt DPS and its mechanics in Eidolon Hunt. First of all, I'm not a professional or a speedrunner. I'm just a guy that still likes to hunt. So, what I'm about to show is not a rule, but it's something that works for me and I can get easy 6x3 every time doing duo. Also, I would like to thank to the player Doer_, who did some Eidolon wiki, what will be in description, where I learned it a lot. And, at last but not least, for the players who hunt with me every time, weekend, and teach me something every day. Let's begin with basics. The DPS has some responsibilities, which are: be the host, quick charge first lore, spawning Unairu wisps, and breaking limbs. When it's around 15 seconds left, the DPS should tell to VS and prepare to go quick charge the first lore, casting Volt's second ability for speed buff, Shock Trooper and Eclipse for damage buff. After that, double jump and archwing. As soon as the Vomvs spawn, you can go forward to spawn the lore, shot, blink, and hack.
Those devices draw energy from Vomv.
At this point, you should shot on linked Vomv first, otherwise, Vomv will be in its ghost form and take a while to charge lore.
Make use of them.
That is unfortunate, but we should try again.
The VS player spawned to Vomvs at log for you to finish charging lore. Now, with the first lore charged, you go straight to the Teralyst. As soon as you drop from Archwing, you should recast your abilities and start to stack melee combo shooting Eidolon body. The reason you should aim 12x melee combo is because this arcane, secondary outburst, which consumes all combo and give up to 240% critical damage and critical chance on swapping to secondary weapons. Also, you should always hold your melee weapon and press the fire button instead swiping manually to weapon because the Vigorous Swap mod.
Energy spike. I advise falling back. That device is insufficient.
After you break the first limb, you should park your charged lore, spawn on call crew guy and stop him too, because he'll kill the Vomvs who will spawn under Teralyst in the healing phase. Your guy will stay at Teralyst. After that, you break the second limb and fly around to take 2 more lores. If you are faster enough, you'll have enough time to take them and come back to Eidolon before he stands up again. If for some reason you could not take 2 lores at once, grab just one, come back to Eidolon, take third limb out and grab the third lore after that.
Directed to secure and deploy additional Eidolon lures. Spike. I advise falling back. Next, you attempt to take control of
it. Considering that you're alternating right and left limb and you grab 2 lores at once, right after you shoot third limb, you should park both yellow lore where Terry will down. Let's see. As you can see, I shot the left limb from my point of view, which means that the last limb is its right upper limb, and when I shoot it, the Eidolon will swing to the left, so I should park lores in the left from my point of view.
Energy spike. I advise falling back.
Right after take last limb, you go to your archwing to take 5 more lore, which will be enough for Gantulyst and Hydrolyst. If you are not used with this, you can take 3 lores and the other 2 lore you can take on Gantulyst's phase.
Smaller sentients rush to the Eidolon's aid, healing it. Stop them. Sentient energy contained. You are closing on victory. Act now.
When you come back, stop far away Teralyst, otherwise your Wellow lures can mess up with the 2 lures charging method. Just approach after both are charged. Now, we have 3 charged lures. You are probably wondering why should you have 3 charged lures if you just need 2 lures for Teralyst? Well, the answer is simple. You should always have at least 1 charged lure for the next Eidolon. When you come back to Teralyst with yellow lures, you should take back all the 3 charged lures. If you have some experience in Hunt, you can just grab the loot lure, which is the first blue lure linked to Eidolon, and the lure that is no linked, which will be used as the first and loot lure from Gary. This can be made because the other lure is just a link on broken limbs. It can be also made on Harry phase, teleporting plus the loot lure to the gate, but this is a topic for another video. Now, we have 5 charged lures, because on-call crew guy is killing the Vomvs under the Teralyst. Right after you hear the capshot sound, you have around 10 seconds to fly to the shrine and lures teleport to your position before it explodes. This method is called teleporting lures. When the lures teleport, they always will drift towards their previous position right after teleporting, and it takes a few seconds before they settle. So, you should hit the ground and go to another position so they can follow you. Now, it's time to recast all your abilities. Cast Shield and take it. Go to Archwing and take the loot. Now, I almost depleted my magazine for primary plated round buff. Shrine behavior. I like to let VS put first, and then the DPS go after. But it's up to you. You have to see what works better for your hunt.
Energy spike. I advise falling back. That device.
On Gary and Terry phase, the DPS should spawn Unairu Wisp to increase the VS amp damage between limbs. For me, it is more consistent to cast Wisp under Gary and Terry and aiming to the ground than shoot its legs, but you should test what works better.
This is insufficient. You are directed to secure and employ additional Eidolon rules. Energy spike. I advise falling back. Energy spike. I advise falling back.
On Longspawn, I usually take the Eidolon away from water, so from Eidolon point of view the sequence is upper left, right knee, upper right, left arm, and left knee. I always shoot from Eidolon's back to avoid inaccurate shots.
Energy spike. I advise falling back. Energy spike. I advise falling back.
Now, let's pay attention in my positioning. I am where Gary will swing and fall down for his healing phase, and my lures are right after me. This will help to charge them because Vomvs will spawn under Gary. This is why I let the left limb for last, because it's easier to shoot from any DPS positioning. You can do this method wherever Gary and Harry spawn. Just remember to try to let any of his knee for last so you can charge lures faster.
Sentient energy contained. You are closing on victory. Act now.
After you kill all 3 Vomvs under Eidolon, you should fly away looking for more Vomvs to charge the yellow lures. When you come back to Eidolon, it will spawn a few more Vomvs to charge them. Always hold your second weapon and right before VS player take water limbs. Swap to your primary so you can proc the 3 seconds Vigorous Swap damage buff.
Energy spike.
Lures will not teleport if you are too close from the water. After you drop from Archwing, go back a little so they can follow you.
I advise falling back. That device is insufficient. You are directed to secure and employ additional Eidolon lures. Energy spike.
As you can see, this is my loot lure because this was the first to link on broken Synovias. This means that I can let the other 2 lures part so I can carry just the loot lure to the gate after the cap shot.
Advise falling back. Energy spike. I advise falling back. Energy spike. I advise falling back. Energy spike. I advise falling back. Sentient energy contained. You are closing on victory. Act now.
As you can see, I did the teleport method only with the loot lure, and the others 2 are parked at hairy position. Also, the gate is already open because the VS player placed his Necramic in front of the door in order to keep it open. This method is used to extract faster. And now, when the gate open, you can just roll once and come back to gate. It will let your hunter away faster. For the 2nd to 6th hunt, it will be the same, but for the quick charge you should enter Cetus. Bullet jump and double jump, cast second ability in the air. Enter Archwing. Go faster, blink and stop at the spawn point, so you can get Vomvs on East Camp.
And now, a massive sentient energy spike in your area. I advise you to be careful. Next, you attempt to take control of it. Those devices draw energy from Vomvs. Make use of them.
Now that the quick charge is done, you can continue with your hunt. Let's talk about the builds and gears.
Work together, but virtue now is lived alone. Free we are now from each other, brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, where once we dreamt of independence, now we stand and dream alone. We were all for one, now the work's begun for another. And we all run to the golden sun for another, for
I don't use Shattering Impact because VS player does. He lets some armor for radiation increase damage.
Heal the pain of independence.
As DPS, my AMP is a 7 to 7 because the high fire rate and punch drop from Clamor Prism that helps a lot on killing Vomvs, especially from Gary phase.
Rise to sing of sorrows
All set. Service your weapons.
60% more fire rate because Overshield. 1 point to X more critical damage if Companio weapon is more than 50% critical chance.
strong, our wise and trusted friend. We united.
This stacks Tenacious Bond buff. The Vigilante set gives more critical chance for Zenith.
Rise to sing of sorrows He the bringer of the vision.
Cold Snap and Hyperion Thrusters are essential on Itzal.
To his call. Praise the wise and mighty ballast. He the ruler of us all.
Now, let's talk about gears. Nowadays, Eidolon Hunt is more the gear you have than mechanical thing like before the Focus rework. This does not mean that you don't need any ability or to know how it works, just that it's a little easier than before. If you guys don't know, I play on controller because I used to play on console, but I have some keyblinds on keyboard. Yes, it's possible to do 6x3 duo on controller. The keyboard keyblind that I use is for on-call crew to cast him on Terry phase and the Necramic if I need to cast it to let the gate open for quickly extraction. And on controller, I have the Archwing on left D-pad and Energy pad on right D-pad. I also have Synesis Scanner swapping touchpad to the right. The reason for Scanner is for Longspawn. It helps to see where is the limbs if you don't memorize them yet.
And we all run to our golden sun for armor.
For my guy, he carries a nuker, and that's the build. It's pretty strong and destroy all Vomvs under Terry. This is a bonus. If you have rank 8 on piloting, you gain 20% Archwing speed. This helps a lot on quick charge timing.
And we all run to our golden sun.
I'm using medium settings instead high because it increased my FPS on Hunt, and it seems to teleporting lures faster because of that.
Here today we sing our story with valor, but virtue now is lived alone.
Enemies highlights is a helpful settings on Hunt because if you use it, you can see Vomvs easier than if you don't. I'm using yellow because it's easier to see than red, for example.
Free we are now from.
And an additional bonus for you guys. The full black Volt is because I'm using Voidshell skin and textures. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this can help someone, or encourage a player to start, or even to back an Eidolon Hunts. Good hunt, Tenno.